Hello. Today we're going to look at the associative property to solve multiplication problems. So the associative property is often referred to as the grouping property, and that just says that we can change, for example, the grouping of add-ins when we're adding or factors when we're multiplying. So we're going to concentrate on factors. So let's look at a couple problems and how we can break numbers apart into factors and then change the grouping of those factors to take a somewhat difficult multiplication problem and turn it into a much easier multiplication problem for students. So let's look at the problem. 16 multiplied by 3. Okay, so when we look at 16 multiplied by 3, 3 is a prime number, so its factors are just 1 and 3. But 16 has many factors, and some of them can be quite useful. So let's look at the factors. 8 multiplied by 2, so 8 and 2. So right now those are grouped together like that to make my 16. But I can use the associative property, which lets me move those parentheses to group different factors together in the case of multiplication to turn 16 multiplied by 3 into a much simpler and easier to solve multiplication problem. So I can take these parentheses and I can move them, and instead of grouping the 8 and the 2 together, I'm going to group the 2 and the 3 together. So 8 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. So I just moved those parentheses over, I just shifted them over. So now I know that 2 multiplied by 3 is 6, and now 8 multiplied by 6 equals 48. So what that tells me is if 8 multiplied by 6 is 48, that tells me that 16 multiplied by 3 also must be 48, because the only thing I changed was the grouping of the factors, and I know by the associative property that that's not going to change the answer. So 16 times 3 is 48 because 8 multiplied by 6 is 48. So let's try another one. Let's look at 4 multiplied by 18. So again, 4 has some factors, 1, 2, and 4. We're going to focus on breaking down 18. So I can rewrite this as 4 multiplied by, and I can write my 18 as 2 multiplied by 9. Okay. Now as you can see, right now the 2 and the 9 are grouped together, so I'm going to go ahead and group the 4 and the 2 together. So I'm just moving those parentheses, just changing the groupings, and we know the associative property allows me to do that without changing the product. And 4 multiplied by 2 is 8, and 8 multiplied by 9 is 72. So that tells me 8 multiplied by 9 is 72, therefore 4 multiplied by 18 must be 72. And this is how we can use the associative property to solve multiplication problems. So we can change these unknown problems, 4 multiplied by 18, which most people do not have memorized, into a problem 8 multiplied by 9, which many students do have memorized as a fact. Thank you.